From refusing to get her blood drawn by Dr. Now,
I'd rather have my lady draw my blood because she knows my veins.
to complaining that Dr. Now wants him to be malnourished.
I don't want to get malnourished either.
Do you look like you're malnourished?
Here are times when stubborn patients refuse to listen to Dr. Now on My 600 Pound Life. Starting with Lee Sutton, who wasn't ready to compromise his extreme eating habits, no matter what happened. However, the start of his weight loss journey was quite different, with him playing his part as an obedient patient who was desperate to lose weight. And keeping up the act, he was able to lose enough weight to qualify him for the weight loss surgery. But from there, things would only go downhill for Lee, as his wife Raina would show her concern for his worsening eating habits following his surgery, and even reveal how he was experiencing a change in his attitude right after surgery.
Now that Lee's had surgery, it's like he stopped trying to stick to the diet. And that's worrying me. I can't figure out why he's doing this now. And his temper has been coming back when he's craving something.
This was the opposite of what Lee had promised to become, especially after finally qualifying for the surgery he'd waited years for. However, Lee seemed like he didn't care about the consequences of his actions and went on with his food addiction, refusing to follow the diet prescribed by Dr. Now. And to top it off, it wasn't even just his eating habits that were getting the best of him, it was also his rising anger issues that were adding to the tensions between him and Raina.
Been with him 11 years and he'd never been violent. It's like he's just changed into this person that's so mean and so hateful.
Lee is such a horrible, ignorant person. He even shrugged it off like it was nothing, but would soon bear the brunt of his actions at his next weigh-in.
Wow.
Where he would try to brush off his negligent progress with another excuse.
I'll be better. I gotta start making better food choices.
Dr. Now, however, was not ready to let that slide and confronted Lee about it.
When you left the hospital, you were down to 546. So you lost only 9 pounds since then. What in the world is going on with you?
To which he resorted by lying about his progress.
I don't eat a third what I ate
just
before I
answer
had
the
that
question,
surgery.
okay?
And even defended his slow progress by covering it up with lame excuses.
You're choosing to overeat and you think it's okay?
No, I don't think it's okay at all.
So what is going on?
I guess I'm not eating the right things. I mean,
But even though Dr. Now pushed him to speak the truth, he wasn't ready to take the blame, no matter what.
You're not eating and you're gaining
I don't want to get
pounds.
malnourished either.
Do you look like you're malnourished?
Do you not want me to eat at all?
You know that's not what I'm saying at all.
The argument eventually ended with Lee walking out of the clinic, not willing to comply with anything Dr. Now had advised him, making him a big failure in the program. His attitude didn't sit well with the viewers, who were quick to bash him online. What's the point of showing sympathy for people who have been fat their entire lives and have zero interest in fixing the problem? There are plenty of people with real problems who could use help. Just like Lee, Sheni refused to let anyone tell her what to do, including her own mother, who had to step in and tell her to take responsibility.
This is going to be a lifestyle changing, okay?
Okay. Do you hear that, Sheni? Let me say this in front of the doctor. If you're not listening to nothing that he's saying, because you get mad, not only at Freddie, you get mad at me. Sheni, when I tell you, you don't need that, what do you do? What do you do? Sheni, most of the time.
Clearly indicating that she was going to be a difficult patient right from the beginning, she started her weight loss journey at a staggering 665 pounds. The only logical way for her to live a comfortable life was to make changes to her weight, but it was her stubbornness that prevented her from achieving that goal. Soon enough, she was hit with a reality check when she realized how far she had let her body go at the next weigh-in appointment with Dr. Now. As expected, instead of admitting to her mistake, she would try to justify it with a made-up medical condition.
And that is a 28-pound weight gain.
Yeah.
So you want to explain to me how this happened?
I have a lot of fluid in my legs.
Can you try something else? Because I heard that one 1,000 times.
Dr. Now, of course, knew better than to believe her excuses and reprimanded her for her irresponsibility.
To gain like you did, you still have to be eating over 10,000 calories a day. You're not realizing that?
I did not realize that.
But this wouldn't be the end of it, as she still wasn't ready to give up her unhealthy connection with food, ultimately ballooning to an even higher weight.
She is 712 pounds, and she has also missed all her psychotherapy appointments. So she's making things up to try to avoid accountability.
Her behavior was criticized by viewers who decided to call her out. It's so frustrating to deal with delusional people, it is pointless to engage with them. On top of that, her episode would take a dramatic turn when Dr. Now found out she had been sneaking in food during her hospital stay and lost his cool.
For 4 months, I have seen you from day one. You haven't lost any weight. Plus, the hospital staff not only seen you eating pizza, but burgers, and then you smart enough not to throw it to your own trash, throw it to somebody else's trash.
Sheni was quick to defend her case, thinking she would get out of the situation without any trouble.
I've lost 130 pounds by now. Are you eating this junk and you keep lying to me?
She didn't eat
I'm not eating any of that.
Then how come you're not losing weight?
I haven't ate anything.
And although she was allowed to stay in the program, it didn't take long for her eating habits to get worse, if not the same.
It's been kind of hard because we don't have nowhere to cook, and it's all fast food places all around us. So this is the only thing I could come up with.
Her attitude led to people calling her bossy and entitled, saying how she was by far the most infuriating person on My 600 Pound Life. Sheni's excuses were what got the best of her, much like Gina, who started with her list of excuses right off the bat.
A big part of what helped me deal with the stress and the pain of the trip. So I couldn't even try to start the diet and exercise plan Dr. Now gave me until we got back home. So I haven't had a lot of time to make some progress yet.
Even after a detailed conversation with Dr. Now about how her weight was destroying her life, she went back home to the same habits that had forced her to opt for the program in the first place.
But Beth went to the grocery store and got some healthier food options for me to start adjusting to the new diet. So I've been working on doing that, but it hasn't been easy because I haven't been feeling well. I think the traveling took a lot out of me and broke my system down a little.
And while she claimed she wanted to make changes for herself, when it was time to take the required action, she spiraled back into her extreme food addiction.
I'm sick.
What do you want?
Something that I probably shouldn't have, but...
You have to have what's on the diet.
I know, but I don't feel good and I'm hungry.
I understand that, but that's not a reason or an excuse.
Okay, Beth, can you go get me something?
We can't do that. You have to have what's on your diet.
Although she did make it seem as though she were making an effort for herself, her next weigh-in ended up blowing up the covers for her.
So the weight I need to be below today to hit my goal is 556.
Even though she knew what would happen as a result of her careless consumption, she even pretended to be surprised at the figure.
I just don't see how I'm gained. Not with how hard I worked.
At this point, even fans had had enough of her constant excuses. She wouldn't even try, so I don't feel sorry for her. At some point, you have to take accountability for yourself, with even Dr. Now calling her out for her refusal to change.
You didn't want to change your eating habits, so you didn't. It's as simple as that. So why in the world are you moving down here if you're not following my diet and exercises?
I want to. I feel like I needed the change to move here.
But what was so infuriating was how leniently she took his advice, even when he asked her to make more effort.
Because there is no point in either of us wasting time if you're just going to wait around for someone else to do the whole work for you.
But I know.
If you know, then why haven't you done it already?
I know. I don't know what to say because it's true.
Dr. Now tried to push her, but she met every recommendation with indifference.
Did you feel like this was something wrong with doing that or not?
No, absolutely. I don't think that was right, and I know that was wrong, and yeah, I don't know.
The reality is that you know what you're doing and that you're still overeating. You're just in denial of your overeating.
It's a reminder that even when you're given the tools to succeed, real change only happens if you address the root causes. A 2022 study by the University of Chicago looked at overweight adults sleeping an average of 6.5 hours a night. When researchers helped them increase that to 8.5 hours, they naturally ate about 270 fewer calories a day without changing their diet or workouts. That's the equivalent of losing 26 pounds in a year just from improving sleep. That's why I want you to know about Sleep Lean, a 100% natural stimulant-free formula you take before bed. It helps you relax, fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and activate your body's overnight fat-burning mode. Right now, they're running an incredible deal. 6 bottles for just $39 each, plus free US shipping and 2 bonus ebooks to help speed up your results. Click the link in the description now to claim your supply. It's backed by a 90-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. Speaking of stalled progress, that brings us to Ashley Taylor. Much like Gina, Ashley T was also in denial of her situation, and what started off as good progress with her losing 10 pounds quickly landed her into a confrontation with Dr. Now, who asked her to treat her weight loss more seriously.
You need to take this more seriously, Ashley, because you still have a very high BMI.
Not surprisingly, she ignored his advice deliberately and decided to go about her journey her own way.
So what I need to do is focus on my diet. But the reality is, with the stress of therapy, I've earned a little treat for taking some good steps.
She even attempted to give the impression that she knew more about her diet than Dr. Now.
The biggest thing I've learned is controlling portion size. So I can afford some things like this. And focus is not a lot. And if I make an exception and treat myself because of my progress, I stay in control of my portions like I should, so I keep my calories down and stay in my limit.
This unhealthy habit and extreme stubbornness to change soon landed her in shallow waters with Dr. Now again. Considering she only lost 2 pounds in her next appointment, which was pretty far off from her desired goal.
All right, Ashley, the big question is, what is your objective with this program and saying you want to do this if you're not going to try and lose weight?
I want to get weight loss surgery and lose the weight and just be more healthier.
And instead of admitting her fault, she twisted the narrative with illogical reasons.
I don't get
I
that.
Trust you, Dr. Now. It's just, once again, I'd rather have my lady draw my blood because she knows my veins and I'm comfortable with her.
But even after going back and forth about her food choices and her blood drawing procedure with Dr. Now,
So if you stick with the diet and you eat low calorie, you should lose more weight. Is that hard to understand?
she decided to throw a tantrum instead of acknowledging her mistakes and even barged out of the room when she saw the conversation wasn't going in her favor.
Oh my God. I need a minute because this is going all wrong and I'm trying to be respectful, but this is just like...
She is nuts. She never wanted help. She just wanted attention. She acts up like that to feel right. But if you call her out, she bursts into tears. And while everyone might have expected her to change months later, she was still in the exact same place, both physically and mentally, proving she had learned nothing.
You're finna talk to me like I'm crazy. I've been on the road all day to come to this appointment, and you're not finna disrespect me. I've been nothing but nice to y'all. You're not finna do me like that. Y'all ready to go? Because I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Not only did her attitude lead to viewers calling her personality malicious, but they also expressed their annoyance by saying that Dr. Now needs to dismiss her because her behavior is unacceptable. And while Ashley gaslit and argued her way out of the program, Pauline made use of irrational excuses to try to get her way through it. After her first appointment with Dr. Now, Pauline had decided to make better changes for herself, but denied putting that decision into action right after she settled into her house.
It's been a hard month. My days are so boring because I feel like I'm not established here like I was in California. So I am doing nothing all day.
What's worse is how she was making no physical effort to get out of her condition.
I've mostly been stuck in this chair. How about some chicken salad? With ranch and a Coke, please. I've been trying to eat better, but there still is mostly just fast food around, so that makes it tough.
And it was as though she was satisfied with the situation she was in. However, she wouldn't do a great job at concealing her unhealthy habits, and would instead choose to lie about them at her next appointment with Dr. Now.
Just been feeling kind of nauseous and dizzy, and
How was the thing going with your activity?
I haven't done a lot of activity in the last week because my stomach hurts.
I've never been so annoyed as I have with this woman. She's not even trying to help herself. Fortunately for her, she did qualify for her weight loss surgery. However, soon after that, she landed in more complications. Not because of the surgery, but because she refused to listen to Dr. Now's instructions.
If Pauline doesn't move around, a blood clot can form, and that can be fatal. She has to get up and move. If you don't walk, you're gonna develop blood clot in the leg, and we're gonna have a problem with it.
Well, I pulled a muscle in my stomach.
No excuse.
I know, you always think it's an excuse, but if it's hurting me, it's there.
And this refusal to get up and make changes for herself would eventually lead to her having to get another surgery to eliminate the risk of a blood clot forming in her body, which was criticized heavily by the viewers, who called Pauline the prime example of learned helplessness. One even commented on her irritating demeanor, saying, "She is literally a professional victim. She goes from show to show crying and being dramatic while doing nothing to help herself." But even more inflexible than Pauline was, Penny Seeger, who, even though was approved for surgery pretty early on in her episode, never lost any weight because of her sheer persistence and delusion. Weighing close to 530 pounds, Penny was put on an administered diet in the hospital where she lost around 40 pounds. But that was all the weight she would lose in the next 6 months, as following her weight loss surgery, Penny would go back to her old ways of binge eating any chance she got.
Why am I on a soft diet? That's the orders that he needs to get his poop in a group, or else I'm gonna order something. This is so stupid. I gotta find out why my diet is this diet. No one told me I had to lose weight when I got here.
Another thing Dr. Now was not too happy about was her lack of motivation to put any extra effort or make changes that would aid her weight loss.
You sure you don't want to sit up? Or if I can walk, there is true miracles in the world.
Which she brought up several times in the episode.
Penny is unwilling to get up and walk around. I'm not sure why she doesn't want to do that.
She should have never been accepted for surgery. She thought the surgery would be a cure, and she thought she wouldn't have to change anything. She is that one person that I have no sympathy for. Penny was slowly turning out to be a lost cause, with her falling back into the spiral she was so desperate to get out of. She had even decided that adopting the eating habits that she deemed right would eventually help her lose more pounds.
You really don't need someone telling you right after surgery what you can and can't do. I can pretty much look at food and calculate exactly what the calories are. I know the percentages from fat I should be having. You have to make the decisions for yourself.
While completely disregarding all the advice and efforts Dr. Now had made so far with her.
You know, the thing is there really wasn't a diet given to us.
This was especially disappointing considering she had all the resources and the potential to make things happen for her, which Dr. Now had provided to her.
Did I give you the booklet about diet?
Yeah, I have it in my
You have
folder.
it? If you have any problem, you call us.
Yeah.
Even 3 o'clock at night.
But Penny didn't care, and she went about her ways to satisfy herself in every way she could, even if it meant ignoring the doctor's advice and putting herself up for failure.
I cannot function without wontons. They're not the best thing for me. Ducting is out and it's gonna be like, why is she eating that? But I can eat all of this by myself and it wouldn't be as detrimental to me as not eating.
Some people can't be helped. It is sad, but unfortunately true. What made her attitude even more intolerable was her stubbornness, which kept her from making any progress in her weight loss journey. This attitude eventually ended in shambles after her next weigh-in with Dr. Now, which didn't go as she had expected and landed her in shallow waters.
You haven't lost any weight. You gained weight since the surgery. Okay? You should be right now walking. You should be around 250 pounds.
I feel that the scales
were wrong in the beginning and that I weighed more than what that was.
But Penny refused to believe anything related to her weight that was her own mistake. She even tried to justify her weight loss in front of Dr. Now, but failed miserably.
There has been change. Look, I mean, it's hanging off my shoulders.
You just trying to convince yourself, okay? Whatever
So
you say.
you can't convince yourself that your sleeves come past your hands now, and they never did that.
I feel like Penny has always and will always justify everything in her life to fit her agenda. Now, if you like my videos, please subscribe or watch my similar videos here.